The next speaker comes from Italy. It's going to be Dr. Francesco Nesi. I hope I said that more or less Italian. He is a building physicist, and he studied in Florence, did his PhD in Regensburg, his postdoctor in Innsbruck, and worked with Professor Dr. Feist. He's at the moment director of ZEPHIR, the Passivhaus Institute in Italy, and is affiliated to the Passivhaus Association. So welcome, Dottore.
Does it work? Yes? Okay. So, hello everybody. Thank you for the nice invitation. Thank you especially the Passivhaus Portugal Association and you for being here. So I was here also last year. It was nice to be here, nice to have a look to your way of build. I think we are very close, like Spain, Greece and so on, concerning way of building and construction strategies, summer strategies and so on. I think it's very important to share all this knowledge. With respect to last year, several things changed. In the meantime, we also registered a sort of boom in Italy, like Anne Vogt before me said, and confirmed also by João what's happening in Portugal. So people in the past years, at the exhibition for example, they went there and said, Passivhaus is, and one had to explain them. And now they come and say, okay, Passivhaus, I know it, where are you? Who are you? Or how can you help us? This is a radical change, because the customers, the clients now know slightly what Passivhaus is, even though, as Anne before mentioned, most of the time they know what Casa Passiva is, but then it's everything and nothing. So in the end, one cannot say whether this is a Passivhaus or not. So Passivhaus is a well-defined standard. We also speak only, we refer to Passivhaus only concerning the certified buildings, because also in Italy we have the same problems, that people claim that they have built a Passivhaus, but with no guarantee that it is in the end. But we see that people are understanding also the role of the certification as a mean of quality guarantee. So my title is From Few to Many, because as I started in 2007, I was a visionary, so people thought I'm crazy to say these things, because in the past 20 years or 30 years, we have done like our own, like our uncles, like our grandparents and so on, and it's already been like this, and it worked. So it worked. Which are the conditions? Which are the boundary conditions? Boundary conditions for me are comfort. So if we speak about comfort, there's nothing at a quantitative level, not only qualitative, but a quantitative level, that can approach comfort like Passivhaus. And in reality, for example, with the construction and certification on the first Passivhaus hotel in Italy, second ever in the world, due to a delay of 1 week, otherwise it would have been the first one. But let's say really one of the biggest issues is to disseminate, to convince people, to think about what people say, one cannot open the windows, or walls do never breathe anymore, or such strange things, or we are forced to live here at 20 degrees and so on. Think about this. In a hotel, how could you live with someone else telling you how you should live in? If you are on vacation, you want to be free, you want to do whatever you like. And now we show people that, in fact, they can also move the thing with the temperature from 17 to 22, 23, so you are free. And it's comfortable anymore. And the guy who built it, for example, has another hotel in Madonna di Campiglio, a very nice place on the mountains where people ski. And he says in 1 month, consumptions of the other hotel, he pays the same amount like 1 year in this Passivhaus hotel. So these are facts, not only claims. So now we are many. I'm happy that I'm not the only one speaking about this. We built up a network in the last year. So I'm, besides everything, I'm a certifier. And we are making a lot of courses in order that a certifier remains third party with respect to the consultant. Otherwise, I would have certified myself, which is not correct and fair. So therefore, we have to produce a lot of people who convince their clients, their customers, to build the Passivhaus. They have now the ability to do this. And in fact, we saw in the last year a great boom of Passivhaus coming to the market in Italy. Not only residential, but also non-residential, and not only new buildings, but also renovations, and especially in the public sector, which I really like, because if public administration moves, then shows the citizens that something good has to be done, and they are the first one who do this. So we also make research and development about, for example, low-cost Passivhaus component. Our aim is not that Passivhaus is an object for rich people, but an object for everybody. This means economical feasibility, first of all. So every time that people ask for a Passivhaus and they are not in an earlier stage, we refuse to go further, or at least we get involved, but up to a certain stage, then we say, okay, you cannot go further, because then it's not economical anymore. And we do need really good example of low-cost Passivhaus in order to show that this can be done with the actual technologies. As Susanne before mentioned, Passivhaus was created as a concept in the mind of this guy, Wolfgang Feist, in 1991, and from then on, almost 40 to 50,000 Passivhauses, not certified, maybe all of them, but most of them, has been built throughout the world. Important fact is that Passivhaus is a concept, is a design concept, not only a certification scheme, which makes a huge difference. I also spoke with some of you during the break, and I was confirmed that also in Portugal it happens the same like in Italy. So certification doesn't count anything. So, for example, in Italy you can buy a certification, energy certification in internet for 15 euros or 20 euros. It's like this. So we thought that this would have led to a quality increase, and in fact it isn't. So the benefit of Passivhaus is that it is not a certification scheme, primarily, but is a design tool, which means you can monitor the consumptions, the energy consumptions, and it works in the reality, like it was designed. In 2010, the International Passivhaus Association, as an initiative of Passivhaus Institute, came, and some national referent was chosen, were chosen, like Plataforma PEP or Portugal Association, and so on. And in Italy, it's ZEPHIR, Passivhaus Italia, who is the Italian referent. In turn, we realized that ZEPHIR cannot go to each customer and cannot embrace the whole market. Therefore, we needed some network in order to be more on the territory, to be local. No? Think globally, act local. This is the idea. And the same we did starting early 2008 and creating several groups at the regional level, which bring further the concept of Passivhaus. This is, so to say, the long arm of ZEPHIR in the single regions. As you see, the north of Italy has been covered. Southern Italy is moving, so something in Sicily, Calabria. We are present in Puglia, so we try to motivate people to be present at the next course for designer, for Passivhaus designer, in order that they know what to tell the people. So we don't build up these groups with anybody. We don't care about this, about numbers. I care about quality. So first of all, people has to know what they should say in the events, in the exhibitions, and so on. Cannot be that they don't know how to answer to any easy question like, is the limit of Passivhaus 15 or 10 kilowatt or kilowatt hours? Maybe people even don't know which is the difference. And the worst thing is that someone inside our movement cannot give a right answer. So this is the first message. I'm a physicist, I'm sorry, but I think like this. And this gives us quality, because then they are present on the territory and they can move and motivate the administrations, the local authorities. They can organize. Today, for example, they are present at Restruttura, people in Turin, here in Piemonte, and they are showing at this Restruttura, means renovation exhibition. They are showing, for example, Passivhaus examples done in their territory in Piemonte, together with practical examples of what a blower door test is. So this is the way I think that we should act. So creating a network, and of course for us it's also important that people come to us and let their building be certified to guarantee the quality. Just to mention why there's nothing here, so I come from Florence, which is here, and I'm really sad to say that in Tuscany we will never come, or maybe in several years. Fact is that we have a very long country coming from the Alps, where the snow is, so it's very cold, to the Sicily, where the seaside is, and so on, or the Calabria, where it's very hot. And from heating demand, very high heating demand, we go on the opposite to a high cooling demand. Whereas, for example, heating demand is almost zero in the southern. People realize immediately, both in north and in south, that one has to insulate the buildings. One has to protect from the heat going outside in winter or coming in summer. But in the central Italy, they cannot realize it. Even though Passivhaus is convenient, they should sit down, take all the bills, for electricity, for gas, or whatever, sum up, and they will come to the same amount that they pay in the north or in the south. But there will be some time before they realize it. There are some pilot projects here in the northern of Tuscany. Someone claiming that in Rome they want to realize a 22 apartment block. I hope that we will succeed in doing this, because a demonstration project is worth more than 1,000 words. So this is the way we should do. So pilot projects like Joao's house and others, this is very important to show the people that Passivhaus can function very well. So for example, shortly the activities of the network. Friuli is here, Udine, Trieste, that's here. They are organizing, for example, the regional Passivhaus conference. They already organized 3 of them, and they are present with the International Passivhaus Days. And they organize, for example, they focus on local courses on the problem of humidity, how to solve it in an active or passive way, and so on. EGP means interest group of Passivhaus, so sort of lobby of people coming together and building up a group which promote Passivhaus locally. They are much more focused on marketing, so meetings, exhibitions, and so on. They participate at regional and extra-regional exhibitions. We organize together with them several meetings also with Passivhaus component producers, like producer of compact heat pump and all this kind of stuff. In Lombardia, for example, Milan, just to let you know the region, together with them, they are focusing on the courses. So they are really interested in enhancing the knowledge of their technicians, because these poor guys in Lombardia have a very low quality certification scheme, and they feel first the necessity of enhancing the knowledge and the experience of the professionists in the region. Then Piemonte Valle d'Aosta is one of the most recent ones. Turin, one of the members of this association, for example, has a certified component, which is a window. I would say the first real Italian Passivhaus window. The other one is a sort of profile that you put on your frame. This really is a developer of frames which have been also participating at the International Passivhaus Window Award. And this year, I know he has already some other things to show. Then Calabria, in the deep south Italy, Reggio Calabria, for example, is the main city. They are pretty new. There's no picture because we have to focus on the program for next year. In December we will meet and we put down the event, the list of activities that we want to do. These guys, of course, each of them has participated as a Passivhaus designer to the ZEPHIR course, to the course to become a certified Passivhaus designer. And they really need, now for example in Calabria, a course for tradespeople. So tradespeople has been already trained in the northern of Italy, not many because the course has been translated last year, but since then we already organized 3 courses, and in the southern Italy, like Puglia, Bari, for example, which is at your latitude, or Calabria and so on, they really need good, well-skilled tradespeople, because otherwise in the execution stage, one cannot guarantee the quality. And this is very important also to move and to go to them and organize these courses. Passivhaus standards spread worldwide, especially in Europe, but not only. What about Italy? Now I can show you some new projects and what we have done. There are some more with respect to last year, but still in the middle there's nothing, so we are concentrating a lot on disseminating and explaining that Passivhaus exist. People are scared or even don't know about the Passivhaus standard and even don't know about the European directive, which is even worse. So we are doing a lot of interviews, a lot of surveys in order to know what is lacking among designers, no? And one of the main things is, of course, ventilation. So they don't know the use of ventilation and the effect in terms of higher comfort that it produces. As Susanne before mentioned, we already proved that in southern Italy, at least concerning economical feasibility, there are two kinds of Passivhaus possible, which means one with the same amount, almost the same amount of insulation on the walls, a little more on the roof, but of the same order of magnitude, and ventilation with heat recovery, which works in bypass in summer. And on the other hand, Passivhaus without heat recovery, only with extract air system, but a big amount of insulation, of course, to compensate the higher losses. So, but still, there are still few of them in the south. So we concentrate a lot. On Tuesday I was in Bari to speak about the same things. So hopefully next year I can present you a lot of projects more coming from the south. So we have single family houses, which are, this is certified, multi-family dwelling, hotel, bed and breakfast, which I already spoke about last year and which was mentioned before. We are trying to motivate some other guys in order to not only to build but also to renovate their old hotels, because this is for sure feasible from the first year at economical point of view. Elderly homes, this is a public project in the city of Turin, which for me is one of the biggest projects in Italy, also showing the fact that the public sector should invest on social housing, on schools or whatever. What is public should be done first, even till 2018. There are some who understand it, some other who don't. This is pretty new, a school near Verona. We are also part of the Eurofit project. This is a very challenging project. This combines three different construction types, namely pizzeria, restaurant, which means how can I make a pizza oven airtight? This is a big question, which is not easy, of course. There are some English guys who told me, let's install an electrical pizza oven. Come on. Of course, we don't come to England and eat a pizza and people come to Italy. So, but these are challenging things which has to be tackled and to solve. And we have a hotel part, which is first and second floor, with the residential part of the owners in the under the roof. So this, hopefully, we will do here step-by-step renovation, because the guy told me, okay, if a bank would give me 3 million euros, I would do it now, but nobody gives me this money. But 300, 400, 1,000 euro a year I can afford, because through the pizzeria I can get some money out of the season, summer season, and then invest it to increase the quality of the hotel. The hotel, in the meantime, receives more occupation because people like it more, and in the same time saves energy. And this means that the owner can save more and more money to invest for the next step, and so on. So this is a very nice idea. Office administration, this has been already showed by Susanna before, by using Passivhaus components. The architect could make an offer equal to the same Class A proposal proposed by someone else, and this has been done in Passivhaus standard, so with no additional cost for the public. This is the headquarters of the province of Bolzano in the north, South Tyrol. Then we have several social housing coming. For example, in Brescia, this has been certified by Passivhaus. But recently, this is coming, is in Cesena, Emilia-Romagna. Then we have a very big project now in Pergine, where our headquarters is, in Trentino, which is sort of, this belongs to the church, and they want to renovate and extend it to another part. This is a very big project with a lot of issues like air tightness. This is very difficult to realize. You see, these are the stories which are combined with mortar and hemp, thanks. And inside is done by wood, so it's not airtight at all. We have to teach the people in the building site how to realize it. Of course, this was a brilliant thing done by previous course participant of us, who put a sort of cross in, sort of option in the tender document. So when you go and let people make offer for the building, to certified with the Passivhaus standard, and the building company chose to put a cross on it, and then they are forced to certify it as a Passivhaus, even though they don't know anything about Passivhaus. But they got 20 points more, and they won the competition. But now they are forced to make this, because they also have to pay a fee if they don't. So we go to the construction site, we explain the people on the building site how to do it. We force the building entrepreneur to plan the air tightness, for example, to think about the thermal bridges, not coming to the building site, starting builds, and haven't thought about all these kind of stuff. So as said before, we have to use the human brain in order to design the buildings, and not going directly to the building site and starting build. This is how is a render of how it looks like in the end. These are extracts of the database. So as said, we did several certified Passivhaus designer courses. Turin and Lecce are the next ones in 2015. That one in Cesena has finished last week. Hopefully we have new certified tradespeople. Next one will be one in Tuscany and one in Calabria. hopefully, because it depends also on the motivation of the people there. For example, concerning certified passivhaus designer course we did, so we were able to teach more than 170, so almost 180 people, a part of all the PHPP courses that we gave all around Italy. And almost half of them became passivhaus designer, and the other half, okay, maybe half of the other half, is aiming to certify a sample passivhaus. Okay, so in there I have to hurry up. Okay, these are the editions of the tradesman courses. We also make links with the other international Passivhaus Association. We organize the first and second National Passivhaus Conference. Here you see we are giving a prize to a municipality who wanted to adopt the Passivhaus standard. Next one will be in Milan. Concerning this municipality, if I have two minutes more, may I? Which is very important. So the municipality decided to reduce the fees for obtaining the construction permit in case of renovations, change of use, extension of existing buildings and new buildings, if the highest energy saving measures are implemented in the work. Let's see what he did. So they chose among the highest level of energy efficiency schemes available in Italy, namely ZEPHIR for Passivhaus, Centro Energy Agency for Casa Clima, and Climavita Foundation for Climavita. This was validated by Region Piemonte. This is what the mayor said. The idea to start from the regulations and prior to this from public funding is due to their ability to inform and communicate, to foster citizens' awareness, and motivate all the stakeholders of the building sector to take part of the change for a better life quality, even though they get less money after the construction. But this is the way, this is the path to start with. The idea, I don't go in detail because I don't have time. Fees for obtaining construction permit are only the urbanizzazione, so-called, so planning fees, divided into the site and site things like street, parking areas and so on, and the secondary ones for the social aspects, like for schools and so on, hospitals, and the construction cost, which is a percentage of the fees for obtaining the construction permit. This was the total amount which was discounted, so 1/5 is coming from the total amount, this one from the urbanizzazione, and 4/5 for the construction cost. Construction cost, so these fees are the highest normally. So this is, in my opinion, one of the best practices which have been implemented. They did not only choose one, but several certification schemes, because otherwise they could have get some problems at the legal stage. Okay, there's a technical appendix and so on. We collaborated with the technicians in the municipality to write down this agreement together. And this means for those who build passivhaus, they get minus 60% of the fees for the construction permit, which means several tens of thousands of euros, even for small fabrics. This is municipality of Muzzano. This is the price. municipality of Botticino, province of Brescia. This is 20,000 people municipality, so a bit larger than the other. And they only decided to reduce the planning fees, so the least part, not the one on the left side. And for those who certify according to Casa Clima or Passivhaus, and even they introduces some extra bonus for those who adopt some sustainability interventions, like certifying according to LEED, Italia or Casa Clima Nature. And these are the planning fees. So additional to anything, they are minus 15%, and additional minus 10% if there are some sustainability criteria which have been implemented. So the idea is that together we can, and if we do something, let's do it well, because as said, maybe for the next 30, 40 years there won't be done anything else concerning substitution of windows or whatever. If we do it, let's do it well, and together we can. So let's build up in a network, and I thank you for your attention. Muito obrigado.
Thank you, Francesco. That was very good. Thank you for the little excursion to Italy. Very interesting. It is very motivational for us, I think, because you started in 2007 and you presented, I think, great numbers. And I hope that in Portugal we can follow these numbers and this example. So, very good. Thank you very much. I'm still interested in seeing how you got the pizza oven airtight, to be honest with you. And I also hope that we can probably speak here to the authorities. I think it's a brilliant idea to go for less fees if there is an achievement in low energy or even passive. I think there was